Right now, we're seeing miners leading gold and silver, or gold, and that's a good sign. If the miners lead, then gold should follow. So that short term, I'm bullish for the whole precious metal space going into the end of the year. I think we're going to see all of them kind of work their way up to the highs that we saw back in October. So I believe we're going to go into a market reset and see the precious metal space pull back for one final kind of blow or pause or opportunity, depending on how you look at it, before we go into a multi-year move where gold's and silver miners are going to go parabolic. So yeah, this price action in general, what goes up this fast usually is going to come back down for a good chunk of it. And that's not a bad thing. We just need to be mentally prepared that that's probably going to happen.
Gold miners gained on the ASX after China's central bank announced that it has resumed purchasing the precious metal, and as expectations rise for a further rate cut by the U.S. Federal Reserve next week. Gold prices in December may rise if the U.S. dollar goes into tepid mode. Gold prices were higher in early U.S. trading Wednesday and maintained overnight gains following an important U.S. inflation report aligned with market expectations. This week, safe haven demand and chart-based buying remain the features in the gold market. Renowned technical trader Chris Vermeulen underscores gold's strong 30% rise in 2024, marked by rallies and pauses, aligning with a 15-year cycle. Chris anticipates a market reset with a pullback in precious metals before a multi-year parabolic rally. Factors such as potential economic disruptions, inflation concerns, and central bank policies all point to further gains in gold prices. Precious metals forecasting platform GoldPredictors, in a recent post on X, highlighted that gold is on track for its largest annual increase of over $500. From a technical perspective, Chris notes that gold and silver miners are now leading the way with strong breakouts. He expects this leadership to push gold higher, with potential gains of 4 to 6% for gold and 10 to 15% for miners. Based on seasonal trends, Vermeulen is bullish on the precious metals sector through December and January. A report from Data Intello said the global gold mining market size was $208.9 billion in 2023 and is likely to reach $274.2 billion by 2032, expanding at a compound annual growth rate of 3.50% during 2024 to 2032. Market growth is attributed to the impact of automation and robotics on mining operations. Now we present the clips of Chris Vermeulen's insights from his recent interview. Before we continue to discuss this, please subscribe to our channel and activate the bell icon for timely updates.
The miners lead, then gold should follow. So that short term, I'm bullish for the whole precious metal space going into the end of the year. I think we're going to see all of them kind of work their way up to the highs that we saw back in October. And maybe they're going to pierce a little bit higher. So there is some pretty good upside potential. Like gold itself has got potential for 4, 5, 6% upside. Miners have got 10 to 15% upside. So there's still a good trade there. And seasonality wise, Andy, when we look at gold, there's actually a few tailwinds helping this trade. Seasonality wise, which is we're pretty much right here for gold in December, usually we see the precious metal space push higher. And to boot, if you're looking at the equity side on precious metals, we also see the equities market, the stock market, naturally go up. And if the stock market goes up, it naturally wants to lift all stocks with it. And gold miners are obviously a stock. So there's definitely some really good tailwinds, I think, to push the precious metal space and miners up into the end of into the end of December and into January. So when we're in a really strong bull market in precious metals, for gold, the miners should lead the way. They should bottom first. They should rally and break out of a chart pattern first, and then typically gold follows. So, savvy investors, they want to move into the leverage play. If they think gold's going to bottom, they're not going to buy slow moving gold. They're going to be like, I'm going to go buy a gold mining stock. If gold moves up 5%, the mining stock could move 20%. So the savvy investors, when we are in a bullish environment, a very strong bullish phase, they'll move into miners first, and then gold will follow suit. And we really haven't been in that. When we look at where gold is at all-time highs and where miners like GDX or any of the other miner ETFs, they're nowhere near all-time highs when we look back. They're totally underperforming. Just short term on the daily chart, they're showing some signs of life for the next 1 or 2 months where I think miners and precious metals should be strong, and they are outperforming. But I think what we need to wait for is for a financial reset, for gold, silver miners, real estate, the equities market in general, like the stock indexes, to pull back and have a reset. And then after that, gold miners should bottom first. Gold and silver should bottom first. And then we'll be off to the races. And when gold miners are outperforming gold, week after week and leading the charge, and majority of gold miners are in a bullish pattern, what percentage of gold stocks are bullish, are trending higher? Then you'll get really excited. I'll be really excited about the market. But right now they're underperforming in general from the big picture. And so I don't believe we're in that bull market phase. But once we kick into it, I mean, it's something I'll be talking about all the time. I'll be getting involved with miners. I'm not into miners right now, I just like physical metals. But there will be a time when we start that new major bull market where miners outperform, and you really just want to be involved in miners because they're going to be explosive.
Gold miners are historically undervalued relative to gold, a trend likely to reverse and overshoot during the forthcoming secular gold bull market. Unlike other sectors which have accumulated more debt, gold miners have significantly reduced their debt levels in the past decade. Many experts, including Chris Vermeulen, emphasize that miners lead by bottoming and breaking out before gold in a strong bull market. Investors favor miners for their higher leverage and amplified gains. High and stable commodity prices, worldwide inflationary policies, and low energy prices are perfect for miners. Since 2021, companies in the commodity sector have sustained robust cash flows, with precious metal producers boasting the highest margins. Regarding a major market bottom, Chris envisions a phase where big money flows into miners and gold across markets. This extreme negativity often sets the stage for a major recovery as gold, silver, and miners climb above key levels with growing interest and volume. Let's get back to the interview.
Cleanse. Like in 2008, we saw this massive waterfall sell-off. I would love to see a huge, sharp sell-off in miners and gold. But then eventually I'm going to want to see a very sharp rebound where miners all bottom, big money is moving in across the board into all miners, large caps, small caps. Gold also puts in a bottom with big volume. The sentiment for the precious metal space from the masses will be very bearish. Nobody will want to hold them because they've all just taken a beating. And of course, the sentiment for the overall stock market of investors as a whole are going to be like, I hate the stock market. I lost a ton of money. This is the worst thing ever. And so we need that really terrible, unfortunately, that bias where nobody wants involved in anything. But then we see gold, silver miners just come to life. It'll be a knee-jerk reaction kind of usually bottom. So if we were to go back to 2008, where we started to see a bottom, we'll eventually see some type of knee-jerk reaction. And eventually you'll start to get above key moving averages. We'll see gold also putting in a bottom. And it does take some time for a major bottom to carve itself out, but we'll see volume start to increase in this space. You can see how there is really very little volume and interest, and eventually it starts to get bigger and bigger. So there's a lot of things that kind of have to layer in. It does take time. You'll never nail the bottom unless you pick it, but really we're going to let things have to mature. Somewhere in this phase eventually is where we'd probably see like the miners put in this major bottom. And gold will have done the same, hopefully. And then we start to see this overall trend start to move higher. So we really just need a really terrible sentiment. Nobody wants it. Everybody's been flushed out, sold, and that creates that opportunity. Two plays that I'm interested in. The first one is the bond market, like TLT. It is carving out what looks to be like a signature bottom. I wouldn't try to pick it yet, but it looks like it's trying to turn a corner. Now there are a bunch of wild trump cards in here, pardon the pun, with tariffs, which could increase inflation, which means interest rates won't really go down, which means bonds will stay here. But if we have blood on Wall Street and stocks are crashing and things get really bad, the Fed still may cut rates. And as everything else goes down, bonds could actually have a really good rally. So I'm drooling over this chart pattern because it does look really good. It's not quite ready yet as an investment, but it could become a very good player.
Gold and silver markets are poised at a critical juncture, with significant potential for growth driven by macroeconomic factors and technical patterns. According to Long Forecast, gold is expected to soar to $4,151 by November 2025, reaching $4,042 by the end of the year. Will the expected pullback in precious metals provide the ideal entry point for long-term investments in miners? Or should one wait for further confirmation of a market bottom? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. If you find this video informative, don't forget to support our channel and turn on notifications to stay informed about our latest videos. See you in the following video.